watching AYV Television.
From our broadcasting house on Wesley Street in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown, this is Primetime News on AYV TV and radio. You're watching us on Channel 33 and listening to us on frequency modulation 11.7. I am Edima Conte. Let's start with tonight's headlines. APC warns of possible nationwide protest over ECSL chairman Edmond Alpha. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security receives 16 vehicles and 45 motorbikes to strengthen agricultural and livestock services across Sierra Leone. Also, the Minister of Health, Dr. Austin Demby, launches the Sierra Leone population-based HIV impact assessment. First on our news tonight, members of the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, have not just tendered a sharp objection on the appointment of Edmond Sylvester Alpha as chairman of the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, but have informed journalists of a peaceful protest at a press conference held at the APC headquarters in Freetown. The party also highlighted overarching issues relating to the current census process and the new constitutional amendment bill, noting that they still boycott all parliamentary and governance activities until Edmond Sylvester Alpha is removed from office. Our governance reporter, Emmanuel Nyake Momo, has the details.
Afrobarometer published a survey which showed that trust in the Electoral Commission that was being led by Edmond Alpha as the acting Electoral Commissioner, Chief Electoral Commissioner, trust in that institution was at an all-time low. It had fallen.
As the political wind blows, suspicion seems emerge as the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, still believes that there is unfinished business in the National Unity Resolutions and tripartite recommendations.
How long does it take for us to implement the resolutions and the recommendations which are the heart of the matter? Well, I'd like you to know that in April 2025, this body, the All People's Congress Party, received a presentation from the tripartite secretariat led by Golo Kata. And he presented to us, among other recommendations, but particularly the ones of interest, the position of the ECSL recommendations. That was in April 2025. In March 2026, we have received a presentation, and you can see that none of the recommendations been concluded except the 8 I just mentioned. A lack of commitment.
Ahead of the 2028 elections, members of the main opposition, All People's Congress Party, also mentioned the big elephant in the room, which is a sharp objection on the appointment of Edmond Sylvester Alpha, chairman of the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone.
We're going to talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the appointment of Edmond Sylvester Alpha. Of particular concern is the recent appointment of Mr. Edmond Sylvester Alpha as Chief Electoral Commissioner. For the 2023 discredited elections, Mr. Edmond Alpha was Regional Commissioner South and part of the team that we demand must go at Bintumani. This action by the President is inconsistent with recommendation 36 of the tripartite committee resolutions, which calls for the establishment of an independent search and nominating committee to vet and recommend qualified candidates to His Excellency the President for appointment as Electoral Commissioners for Sierra Leone. In consequence, the APC has withdrawn participation of APC elected officials in Parliament and local councils until Mr. Edmond Alpha, who is an accomplice to the 2023 discredited election, leaves office.
The leadership of the party has decided that we will not recall our MPs and councillors to go back to Parliament and local councils unless and until the big question in the room is addressed. Edmond Alpha has to go. And soon, very soon, the leadership will announce a date through which we will organize a nationwide protest within the confines of the law. If there is one single message you should take away, it is that is the next move of the All People's Congress.
As the country slowly moves towards 2028 elections, some people tend to ask if early warning signs of tensions have already ignited or emerged, and whether or not the lessons are learned from previous 2023 elections, amidst the fact that government relies on Act Number 6 of the 1991 Constitution to have appointed, approved, and sworn Edmond Sylvester Alpha as Chief Electoral Commissioner. Emmanuel Nyakemomo, AYV News, Freetown.
Now, the Minister of Health, Dr. Austin Dembi, has launched the Sierra Leone population-based HIV impact assessment. The initiative aims to not only better understanding the HIV epidemic in the country, but also to strengthen efforts to reduce its spread. AOIV's Maria Matomi has the details.
Officially launched the Sierra Leone population-based HIV impact assessment. It's got a beautiful name, Sylvia 2026.
HIV and AIDS remain a major public health concern in Sierra Leone. According to the health minister, about 84,000 people are currently living with HIV, but only around approximately 60,000 are receiving treatment. He further disclosed that the program is being supported by ICAP with funding assistance from the United States.
We have the best drugs in the world for HIV treatment, for AIDS treatment. But if people don't know their status and they don't come forward for the treatment, what good is that drug?
Meanwhile, Dr. Sulaiman Lako, a figure in managing HIV and AIDS in Sierra Leone, says the country is working towards achieving the global 95-95-95 target.
Of those who know their HIV status, 95% of them are on treatment, and those that are on treatment, 95% of them are virally suppressed. What we have for 2024, we are at 87, 86, and 63. 63 does not reflect on the real entity. We have challenges with our lab. We're supposed to test everyone, or at least 98% of this population, so that we can have real values. But the labs, we are in challenge, and we have now put mechanism in place to see that we address that.
Brigadier General Professor Fodisa, Executive Director at the National Public Health Agency, describes the exercise as Sierra Leone's first ever national HIV survey of the general population.
We want 95% of people living with HIV to know their status, and of those, we want 95% to be on treatment, and of those that are on treatment, we want 95% to have viral suppression. At this moment, 18 field teams are actively visiting households, and 127 communities in the western area are involved. Over 258 community mobilizers are door-to-door preparing communities before our teams arrive.
Also present at the launch was Dr. Monique Foster from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, who emphasized the importance of using data not just to measure progress, but to strengthen long-term response systems and resources.
Building lasting capacity. More than 190 Sierra Leoneans have been trained to implement this effort. Significant investments have been made in laboratory systems and infrastructure that will serve the country well beyond the end of this survey.
Although final nationwide figures are not yet available, Rachel Kuyembe, Public Relations Officer for the National Public Health Agency, says the survey will help identify affected individuals and improve targeted interventions. She adds that the exercise is expected to conclude by May, after which detailed findings will be shared with the public. Maya Matomi, AYV News, Freetown.
Still on health, the Minister of Health has also addressed concerns raised in the 2024 Auditor General's report, particularly issues affecting the health sector. The session provided an opportunity for journalists to seek clarification and ask questions as the ministry prepares its final response to be presented before Parliament. Here is an excerpt.
I know that there are specific audit queries that came through, and we have worked on these are audit queries from 2024. We spent 2025 addressing all of those audit queries. And unfortunately, some of the reactions and the responses that we've had are not really addressing the responses to the audit queries, because the mechanism of it is for us to present it to Parliament that has oversight. So we thought it's critical to have written response to the media when Parliament hasn't seen the response yet. So we're looking for the opportunity to go and engage with Parliament and explain all of their needs, but that doesn't preclude the press having questions and those questions answered. So to just get things clarified here, we'll wait to get to Parliament and respond officially to Parliament in a written format. But as we engage with you, any questions you want, we're happy to answer them for you.
Well, away from health, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security has received 16 vehicles and 45 motorbikes to strengthen agricultural and livestock services across Sierra Leone, with support from the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations under the Pandemic Fund project. The official handing over and commissioning ceremony took place in Freetown. Our intern reporter, Suzanette Passy, reports.
For better results in 2026.
The newly acquired fleet is expected to enhance the ministry's capacity in monitoring livestock diseases, responding to emergencies, and strengthening agricultural extension services nationwide. Officials say the intervention will significantly improve the ability of extension workers and veterinary officers to reach farmers, especially in remote communities. The support provided through the Pandemic Fund project in partnership with the government of Sierra Leone forms part of broader efforts to strengthen national preparedness against the disease outbreaks affecting animals, humans, and the environment. In addition to the mobility support, the project is also contributing to improved laboratory services, training of veterinary personnel, and enhanced disease surveillance systems across the country. Representative of the FAO noted that the handing over represents more than just equipment, emphasizing its role in safeguarding livelihoods and strengthening resilience within the agricultural sector.
These 16 vehicles and 45 motorbikes will significantly enhance the ministry's ability to monitor activities, respond quickly to emerging threats, support district-level operations, and reach farming communities, many of whom operate in remote areas that are difficult to access. The impact of these vehicles will be felt nationwide, empowering agricultural extension workers, surveillance teams, and district coordinators to do their work with greater efficiency, speed, and outreach.
Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Henry Musa Parker, described the support as a major step towards strengthening the country's agricultural sector and improve food security.
We're delighted. As Minister of Agriculture, one of the things I'm very proud of, and I've been around this ministry now, about 5-6 years going, DOs always complained that they didn't have vehicles. See, when I came, we wanted. Today we have 16 vehicles. Some of you will stay in headquarters, but I can tell you at least 9 or 8 districts are going to have new vehicles. Yes. So I know the DOs are happy, but so are the veterinary officers, because this is for surveillance and all those things that we're doing. But you cannot have a district agriculture officer that doesn't have a vehicle and then the resources they are sitting that we can use. So for me, the director said we have just got 50% of our mark for 2020 by this. I believe so, because now in every district we will have a vehicle for DAOs to go around and do monitoring and chase the work that needs to be done.
It stressed that strong disease surveillance systems are essential in preventing future health emergencies, noting that many infectious diseases affecting humans originate from animals. During the event, the minister was presented with an award recognizing him as the top performing minister in the 2025 Government Performance Index. Members of the diaspora community commended his leadership and encouraged him to continue his efforts in transforming the agricultural sector and contributing to national development. Suzanette Bassi, AYV News, Freetown.
Now, analyzing current alarming rates of criminal offences, especially those touching human rights, with 12,301 domestic violence cases, Vice Chairman, Human Rights Commission, Sierra Leone, Victor Idris Lansana Esquire, says the criminal justice system in Sierra Leone is disjointed, which is undermining human rights and is to blame for the alarming rates of crime. He was speaking on AOYV's Wakeup Sierra Leone. Samuel Tonisoya has the report.
2025 police report on crime statistics shows an alarming 12,301 domestic violence cases, 1,946 cases of sexual penetration, and 78 cases of rape. These shocking statistics is revealed amidst the ratification of several conventions like the CEDAW and passing of several legislations like the Child Rights Act, the Sexual Offences Act, among others. Many questions arise on practicality and enforcement mechanisms. But what is the Commissioner for Human Rights saying?
So these are the things. Several of these complaints, sexual offences cases, sexual penetration cases, they are there with the police. When we investigate, the police will tell you, "Oh, we have sent the file to the DPP's office." Then we engage the DPP's office. Go and ask them to give us CC number. Go and ask them to give us the specific reference number to show that in fact we don't have those files here. So, there is a very disjointed nature of the criminal justice system, which actually is undermining the enjoyment of human rights, and which is making this the rate of crime, is multiplying. It is because they are not addressed.
The shocking figure of over 12,000 domestic violence cases left the Commissioner giggling. But what is his response?
Is the 12,301 domestic violence cases as well. What? It has even gone up by 60% since last year.
You had the testimonies from women. So pathetic. We have a case, we come to court, we don't get justice. So a lot of people say, no, I don't go to court anymore. Why should I go to court?
The situation seems worse as rape cases amount 78, even in a state of emergency on a rape and passage of many laws on same.
But even when all of these laws are being put in place, we are still having these cases going on. Because, those who are supposed to do their work are not doing their work. There's no better way to explain it. There's no better way to explain it. So we have to make sure that we reduce the number of offenses or the crime rates that is going up around sexual offenses, sexual related offenses and penetration. We have to do much more. Our guy
who is to be blamed for this?
It is where you start. They are the ones that bring the cases to court. They, of course, will also say, "Oh, sometimes we send these files to the DPP's office for advice before we can file, but they don't get the advice." So, I know, of course, there are some cases for the states. It's the law officer department that normally prosecutes. But most of these cases that go to the magistrate court, they are being prosecuted by the police. So it is the police that should start to take the blame and ensure that they put mechanisms in place to be able to reduce that staggering statistics that we have just get.
The nature and scope of these offences and the alarming rate call for urgent enforcement mechanism to curtail these violations and protect human sanity. Samuel Tonisoya, AYV News, Freetown.
Electricity supply in Sierra Leone continues to face serious challenges, including widespread power theft, vandalism of electricity infrastructure, and low payment of utility bills by consumers. According to the communications manager of the Electricity Distribution and Supply Authority, SANEPO, nearly 40% of electricity usage is lost through power theft, while about half of consumers do not regularly pay their utility bills. Despite these challenges, NEPO says efforts are underway to strengthen the country's power supply system. Here is an excerpt.
electricians out there that have gone to institutions that have knowledge in power manipulations. So most times they have been hired by these large energy consumers.
So we have very smart criminals in the country.
We do. We know it's indicative on the report that things like that. You read it. I didn't read the report. You read the report.
I read it, yes.
Yeah. So it means you are well informed. So these are some of the challenges we are faced with as a sector. Even when internally we try to streamline things, we try to make things go the right way. We also have people out there that are also studying, that are also tampering with our infrastructure. So
it's power theft.
So we are at 40% power theft.
40%.
Yes.
So there's still a 60%.
So yes. So imagine. We have
that pays for electricity.
Imagine we have MDIs and our large customer base. It is expected that we should get bulk of our revenue from our large customer base, because the domestic customers, mostly they buy 100, 200. The highest they could buy, some people could buy, is 1,000. So we mostly rely on our industrial customers, our large energy users to generate revenue. But it may interest you to know that more than half of our large energy consumers are not paying appropriate energy bills. You had the minister when he came here on AYV. He did say that firstly we're about to complete the respite project, which will provide 30 megawatts for Freetown. He did say that we are working on the Nant energy power plant, and that will be completed as well, which will help build up on our generation capacity. We also have other solar interventions that are coming in. So of course we know by this time next year we cannot, I'm not going to be futuristic about it. We cannot face the same experience, challenges we are faced with today, because we are planning. No, I'm careful. Okay. I know we have timelines to the completion of some of the projects. So by Q1 next year, we should be able to complete, for instance, the respite project. It should be operational. We are looking at from now to December, but that's why I said Q1. By Q1, that should have been operational, which will take care of the rural, mountain, and far east.
So how much megawatts would that be generated?
It's 30 megawatts.
Would that be enough for the entirety of Freetown?
No, it's not for Freetown.
It's largely.
Yes, largely.
40 megawatts.
Yes, largely, yes. And we will have 10 megawatts for Lunge.
As part of efforts to address some of the challenges Muslims face during the holy month of Ramadan, Dr. Ibrahim Bangura, an APC flag bearer aspirant, has organized a community iftar for key stakeholders and supporters in the Western area. The event, held at the DIB movement headquarters at Wilberforce, aimed to strengthen unity, deepen democratic principles, and promote members. Our reporter Isa Bangura has more.
The atmosphere at the Dr. Ibrahim Bangura movement headquarters in the Wilberforce community was filled with unity and fellowship as Muslims and other party stakeholders from the Western area gathered to break their fast together during the Ramadan. The iftar program organized by Dr. Ibrahim Bangura brought together many participants who observed their Maghrib prayer and shared a meal after a long day of fasting. According to Dr. Ibrahim Bangura, the aim of the event was to support Muslims during Ramadan while also promoting peace and togetherness within the district.
This, the month of Ramadan, a month of blessing, a one of peace and a one of love.
Ramadan is a sacred month of peace, blessings and love. It is a time to come together, break fast and strengthen the spirit of unity and togetherness while promoting peace among one another. Today I joined people from the Western rural area to share iftar with them, reminding ourselves that we are one family and using the moment to better know and understand each other.
And we also use the opportunity for begin to know each other.
Dr. Ibrahim Bangura further reaffirmed his commitment to promoting peace and stability, noting that with unity and determination, meaningful progress can be achieved.
I can always say I'm born on the 21st of September, we're at the International Day of Peace. I mean a man of peace. I don't spend the greater part.
I was born on the 21st of September, recognized as the International Day of Peace. I consider myself a man of peace and have dedicated much of my life to peace building. My dream is to see lasting peace and unity in Sierra Leone. Our country has endured too much suffering, and it is time to bring that to an end and work towards the nation we all desire. This may only be achieved through unity. I am committed to working with everyone, regardless of differences, because every individual has a role to play in the growth of our country. Where there is peace and unity, there is progress. Division and hatred will not take us forward. We must stand together for a better future.
Me no want for see with people and continue for suffer, but the division and the hate we see now no go carry we go any side. We want to bring an end to them and move the country forward.
Meanwhile, the community iftar at Wilberforce highlights how religious observance like Ramadan can serve as a platform for promoting peace, unity, and social cohesion among people in the western area. Issa Bangora, AWV News, Freetown.
Now for court update. In the case of Yebu Zainab Sharif versus the state, tension continues to mount at Magistrates Court No. 1 in Freetown as accused Yebu Zainab Sharif makes her 5th court appearance after being denied bail on 4 consecutive occasions. Let's now hear from our court reporter Ibrahim Ramadan Jallo.
Tension filled Magistrate Court No. 1 in Freetown today as Yebu Zainab Sharif made her 5th court appearance following 4 consecutive bail refusal. At the previous hearing, the prosecution formally closed the case. During today's proceedings, defense counsel, led by Roland Wright, indicated their intention to make a no-case submission. Courtroom drama unfolded when the court registrar requested the accused to respond to options presented to her as the presiding magistrate prepared to withdraw for a ruling. Yebu Zainab Sharif initially declined to respond, sparking heated arguments in court. She later agreed to rely on a police statement instead of swearing an oath or giving testimony from the witness box. The defense, unable to conclude its submissions, subsequently requested an adjournment. The request was granted by Magistrate Mustafa Bremajar, who stated that the adjournment will allow the defense to properly determine its next course of action. Meanwhile, the accused remains in custody pending and continuation of the matter. The case has been adjourned to the 25th of March 2025 for a next hearing. The case continues.
Well, this is AOIV's Primetime News. Stay tuned for more stories after the break.
Mutik. This one is for the boys. People who shape their world and the winners who still put in the work. Cheers to those who start great things. When you start, you're hard to stop. You raise your game and never back down because you're bold enough to make it. To you I say, never stop. Mutik. Never stop starting.
Do you know you can transfer money, buy airtime, and pay all your utility bills in just a minute? You can have access to your account anytime, anywhere. Welcome to the world of fast and easy. GT Wall. With the GT Wall, you can transfer money from one GT Co account to another, pay utility bills, get account statements, get airtime, and check your balance. With GT Wall, you can buy Exa anytime, anywhere. You can go to App Store or Play Store on your iPhone and Android devices, download the app, and enjoy. GT Code. wouldn't you rather bank with us?
The money necessary.
You in the peninsula, when they wondering, who's I forget good, palatable and delicious food? Well, you worry don't turn. Quick Bites Restaurant and Lounge. Now the one-stop shop, who say you go get good home food, like all kind snacks them, Africana food them, and European dish them, with delicious ice cream. The place then at number 3 Solpon, now main peninsula road, inside mile 13. They show all kind football on the play at the world, like then Champions League, European League, English Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A, and all other league them. By wide scheme, when you hear go suffer for watch. On the cool atmosphere, they come for make life easy in the peninsula. Then get the shop-wide supermarket. Who said they sell all kinds of them for much money use one. From food to accessories them. Then get the shop-wide decor and rental service them. Where they decorate the place for their wedding, them party, or any kind of occasion. When they don't decorate for you, you go feel say, na paradise. Then they rent decent chair them and table them with canopy. There's someone so they rent musical set for any kind of occasion where you get. Well, we know say live band business now, now at the order of the day. So then get some for rent new one with plenty other facility them. Same also, then get the shop-wise bakery where they make all kind fresh and sweet bread them. Then cupcake, married cake, birthday cake, and different type cake them. Number 13 Peninsula. You can call the bakery number on 077 093 918. So you otherwise can't do business with them today. So can't get you breakfast, lunch, and dinner on a cool atmosphere where life will make you feel easy. Now the Quick Bites Restaurant and Lounge, where in number 3 Solpon, Main Peninsula Road, number 13. Then they open 24-hour every day. Or you can contact them on 075 220 688 or 073 677 774 or 088 759 916. Make use of this good opportunity.
Money necessary. Money, yeah.
Welcome back. I am Edima Conte and this is AOYV's Primetime News. Thank you for joining us tonight. Let's take more stories. On the 13th February 2026, President Julius Maada Bio appointed Aissat Amara as chairperson of the Board of Trustees of NASSIT, Sierra Leone's agency responsible for social security and welfare of workers. Her appointment was made via an official notice from the Office of the President. As NASSIT warmly welcomed and swear in Madam Amara at the NASSIT head office in Freetown, Aissat Amara signaled her commitment to national service and for the full implementation of the informal sector pension scheme. Here Ojalo files in the report.
The official appointment letter dated on the 13th of February 2026 by President Julius Maada Bio appointed Aissat Amara as chairperson of the Board of Trustees of NASSIT, Sierra Leone's agency responsible for social security and welfare of workers. The appointment was made via an official notice from the Office of the President. The appointment was formally approved by Parliament on the 27th of February 2026. As the incoming chairperson, Mara will be tasked with overseeing the strategic direction of the country's primary pension and social security fund, a critical pillar of Sierra Leone's social safety net. In a closed-door meeting held at the NASSIT head office in Freetown, she was warmly welcomed by the trustees and management of NASSIT. Aissat Amara has expressed her deep appreciation and commitment to national service following her appointment as the new chairperson of the Board of Trustees of the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASSIT.
For me, the goal is to work together. Okay, the strategy is to make people understand the importance of security, because if you understand that you are secure, then obviously you look into sort of paying into the scheme, which in turn will secure you later in life. It's very important. So the goal, I believe, I've met the team, the members, and I believe we all share the same goal, which is working for the people, okay? And the my own personal endeavor is to work in unison because we all share the same goal.
Minister for Employment, Labour and Social Security, Mohamed Rahman Soare, asserts government's procedures in appointing the chairperson, while emphasizing Madam Mara's achievements and capability.
Well, so for government is continuity. You may recall that very recently we lost the sitting member of our board. So on 13th February this year, His Excellency exercised his constitutional mandate to choose a competent female to lead the Board of Trustees at NASSIT. Ms. Mara, as you may have heard, comes very highly recommended. She's been in the financial services sector for over 25 years. She's been the corporate banker, and until her appointment, she worked for the PPU, the Public-Private Partnership Unit in the Office of the President. So she comes very highly recommended. Also, we are confident that somebody with Ms. Mara's background, you know, blending with the profile of existing board members.
Wusum Hotel has reached out to some vulnerable people in society to provide them with iftar as the only month of Ramadan gets to an end. Packs of foodstuff were distributed at various mosques within Makeni. Abasise has a report.
For Human Rights and Democracy, in partnership with ActionAid Sierra Leone, has launched the Green Initiative project in 10 schools and
Well, apologies there. We'll bring you that story in a subsequent news program. In another story, a call for national unity and spiritual reflection has been made by Musa Tarawali, who urged Muslims to support the idea of a national day of prayer involving both Muslims and Christians for the progress of Sierra Leone. He made this appeal during a 2026 Iftar gathering with the United Council of Imams from the South and Eastern regions held in Kenema, bringing together Islamic leaders from Kenema District, Kainlaon District and Kono District. Joseph Adumambo tells us more.
The meeting is more of a spiritual engagement rather than a political gathering, aimed at seeking God's intervention for national development. Alhaji Musa Tarawali highlighted the critical role religious leaders, particularly imams, play in influencing their communities, urging them to lead prayers for the country.
There will come a time when Sierra Leone observe a national day of prayer where Muslims unite in worship to seek Allah's guidance for the nation. I call on Christians to do the same, because true progress comes from true faith, honesty and unity, not manipulation or propaganda. I acknowledge the sacrifice of imams who continue to guide people despite hardship, and I reaffirm my long-term commitment to honoring and supporting them from my community to the national level.
Similarly, in Kenema District, Tarawali reflected on his long-standing relationship with imams. He said his commitment to supporting Islamic leaders stemmed from growing up in an Islam's home, noting that through supports from international partners, over 65,000 children have now been helped to learn the Quran, with plans underway to establish universities, with donors now investing more than £7 million into these initiatives.
This Ramadan, we don't give iftar to 65,000.
This Ramadan, we have supported over 65,000 children and built more than 300 mosques. Currently, 2,000
2,500 Arabic teachers are receiving monthly salaries of at least $100. We are also expanding our efforts to include the construction of universities, hospitals, schools, and water wells. We pray that Allah continues to bless and sustain our donors.
It continues to make donors and they subscribe to us.
At these gatherings in Bo and Kenema, several imams commended Tarawali for his continued support over the years, noting that they remain grateful for his contribution to their communities.
There are many imams, but in the past we only found joy when invited to pray or perform sacrifices. Today, through Allah and Alhaji Musa Tarawali, imams under the Ummah welfare receive monthly support, sometimes even more encouraging than government teaching salaries. This is why we continue to pray for him. So always ready for deliverance. All right? We move forward. Everybody will there.
Alhaji Musa Tarawali has become a household name in the Islamic community, a true friend in times of need. The United Council of Imams does not associate lightly, but their support for him shows his credibility. Those gathered here are influential stakeholders across chiefdoms and districts, each capable of reaching thousands. By all standards, he is well qualified and surrounded by serious individuals.
The event concluded with prayers, communal feasting, and the presentation of cash and other gifts to the attending imams. Joseph Adomambo, AYV News.
Well, that's all for Primetime News tonight. For more stories, do visit our website at www.aayvnews.com. If you have any comments on the news, please do send us an email to info@aayvnews.com. I am Edima Conte. Many thanks for watching and listening. Good night.